Hey, welcome back to Livin MN Outdoors, and thanks for tuning in to another fishing report. The season is really starting to wind down here. We'll get into some of that here, but before we do, just want to remind you guys, open water season is approaching. Start making your cabin reservations, your guide trip reservations. Get all of those details in place, get it on your calendar, because it's only a couple months away now. Also, just want to remind you guys, with the warm weather we've been having, some rain, the accesses on the local lakes and even some of the bigger lakes are really starting to deteriorate. You really got to be careful in those channels wherever there's springs. Really start paying attention to the ice when you are venturing out. I have no doubt that we will still be able to get out for the next few weeks yet, but you need to start paying close attention to the ice and being careful. But with that being said, let's dive into this week's fishing report. All right, this week we're going to start up at Lake Winnie out of the Pines Resort on Tamarack Bay. I talked to Chad yesterday, and he told me that their access is going to be open to ATVs, side-by-sides, and trucks, but they are no longer going to be allowing out wheelhouses. So if you got a truck, you got a four-wheeler, side-by-side, snowmobile, you can bring portables out there, or you can just go out there and do some hole hopping, but he is not going to be allowing out any wheelhouses any longer. If you do want to pull your wheelhouse up, he does have limited availability for onshore parking. You can stay in your wheelhouse and then go out and fish throughout the day and evening. And the bar and restaurant will remain open. He does have cabins available, fish cleaning shack, live bait, all that good stuff is still going. So if you want to get up to Lake Winnie, that is still available. Now, as far as the fishing goes, the perch fishing has been really good over the last week or so. The majority of those fish are in that 11 to 13 feet of water, specifically over in the Plug Hat area. They're catching some really nice jumbo perch right now. Best ways to catch those: small jigging spoons with a minnow head, or a dead stick with a crappie minnow or a fathead. Now, as far as the panfish bite goes, panfish bite continues to get even better. Still in that 7 to 10 feet of water. They're getting both giant bluegills and crappies, small tungsten jigs with Eurolarva, waxworms, plastics, or on dead sticks with a crappie minnow. Now, if you want to target eel pout, the eel pout are going to start working towards their spawning grounds. They like to spawn on those shallow sand flats. Find deep, steep breaks adjacent to those shallower sand flats, and you're probably going to come across some nice eel pout. And make sure you are paying attention to the regulations, because they did just put a limit on those. I believe it is 4, but double check the regulations on that. So if you guys are looking to get up to Lake Winnie, go ahead and call Chad from the Pines Resort. Now, if you guys are looking to book a open water guide up there, we will be partnering with zupsguideservice again this year. His books are open to those trips. If you want to get in on May or June, you better do that soon, because his books are really starting to fill up. So if you want to book a guide trip, go ahead and call Scott from zupsguideservice. All right, now moving over to Leech Lake. This weekend we will be heading up to Horseshoe Bay Lodge. Yes, their access is closed, but there is tons of available fishing up in that area, and we are going to be staying in one of their nice rooms up there and then leaving the resort to go do some ice fishing. Now, Horseshoe Bay Lodge, they still will have their bar and restaurant open for sure on Friday, and I believe Saturday as well, but double check their Facebook page there. But I do believe this is the last weekend for the bar and restaurant to be open. They do have hotel rooms available, and make sure to mention Livin MN Outdoors when booking those rooms. All right, now moving over to Acorn Hill Resort. I talked to Kyle earlier today, and unfortunately, they had to close down their access for the remainder of the ice fishing season. Now, if you still want to go stay in one of their cabins, they do have cabins available yet this spring, but you will not be able to access the lake from their access. Now, if you guys are looking to book a cabin, a guide trip, walleye camp in June, you need to start thinking about that, getting that planned out. Give Kyle a call and get that booked. Walleye camp is June 7th through the 14th. That will include housing, meals, guide trips, seminars, and much, much more. So if you're looking to become an expert on walleye fishing out on Leech Lake, that is the camp for you. So if you're looking to get up to Leech Lake out of the Traders Bay area, go ahead and call Kyle from Acorn Hill Resort. All right, now moving down to Mille Lacs Lake. I was not able to get in touch with any of the guides or resorts up there. They are really busy monitoring those shorelines and accesses. I do know that some of the resorts will remain open this coming weekend. I'm not sure about wheelhouses, but I believe truck traffic, side-by-sides, ATVs, those perch still seem to be out deep, but they do seem to kind of be migrating towards their pre-spawn areas. So if you're having trouble finding them out in the middle on the mud flats, start looking on those little bit closer to shore structures, but still in that deeper water, because those perch are going to start migrating in to their spawning grounds. Now, some other good areas to start looking for those perch, the shallow bays on the southeast, southwest sides of the lake. Usually the perch around this time of the year really start to pull in there heavy. Anywhere from that, like 9 to 15 feet of water seems to be really good. And like usual, guys, if the bite is on those big perch, they'll eat a big jigging spoon with a minnow head. But if they're a little bit finicky, don't be afraid to downsize to a small tungsten jig with a waxworm. Now, one other thing to keep in mind, Mille Lacs Lake does have an extended northern pike season. Northern pike will be open till March 31st. Those southern bays are typically very good this time of year and throughout the rest of May. But watch the ice closely, but get out there, put up some tip-ups, and enjoy some awesome pike fishing. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's fishing report, guys. Not sure if we will do another one next week. It depends on if any of the guides or resorts are still going to be taking people out or opening up their accesses. But we will continue to post on our Facebook regardless, so stay tuned to that. If this is our last fishing report, we will pick back up in May for the open water season. So hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, and you will be notified every time we post a video. Appreciate all the support this winter. It's really sad to see the ice going, but we can start looking towards the open water season. If you do make it out, send us some pictures. Remember, be respectful of other fishermen. Don't crowd your neighbor. And most importantly, don't forget to get on out there and get livin'.